Are we going to deny that? Are we going to deny that this is just a picture that I posted? I did nothing to. This is just a picture of her, and y'all feelings is hurt, nigga. Like that's not my fault. So you team Tip.
I'm team Tip. Welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to Creme World Podcast, episode whatever. This is Creme. Here is Xaii. Say hello, Xaii.
Always. Xaii, you know what I'm saying? Coming from Dallas, Texas, like always. Like I say, I'm from Texas, gotta rap. What's my fucking cat? Sorry.
Where's my cat, though? Yeah. So the first thing we'll get into is this T.I. versus 50 Cent beef. If you haven't been following, it's one of those things where it's like I kept seeing it out of my periphery on stuff for a while. And then like right before this was the first time I dug in and was like, wait, what? Well, like, you know, let me listen to everything. I listened to, we'll get into it. So yes, I am Team T.I. To set the table, there's no way you're going to get an objective take from me when it comes to any rapper versus any Atlanta rapper. Nonetheless, T.I., who for me is like probably, I can honestly say he's probably one of the first rappers I like maybe the first rapper I liked, and not even because like he was some shit I found, because I was in Atlanta when T.I. was coming out. That shit was everywhere, and also that was like I had a stepdad. He loved T.I., so I was listening to T.I. every day from the time he dropped when I was like 7 years old.
Yeah, so back here in Dallas, the radio is like really, really big, and I'm assuming because of the 50 beef, there's a lot. They've been playing a lot of T.I. lately, and I was listening to Rubber Band Man and You Don't Know Me. And what's so funny about both of those songs is if you listen, that nigga is using big words. You know what I mean?
For sure.
He's like the first rapper to really do that from the South.
He's kind of the first. That's great. That's so.
I was just thinking that he's the first
because Andre. But when you remember Andre, but first like quote unquote street. I mean, you could argue he's the first trap rapper.
Yeah, he is. He is.
So that
what his first album is trap music.
That's what I'm saying. Like we don't really have that phrase without him. So it's crazy how much it's not devolved. You could argue devolved, but evolved now to where definitely like big words and lyricism are the last words you think of when you think of like trap, especially from Atlanta more recently.
And T.I. was definitely that. It was one part of the song on You Don't Know Me where he's like, contrary to your beliefs. I'm like, I know when niggas first heard that, niggas was like, this nigga here. Like, but
contrarily, yeah. Indubitably.
Yeah, bro. There's certain songs I'm like, I fuck with T.I., you know what I mean? But like when I was younger, I just never really listened. But now that I have a lyricist ear, I'm like, yo, this nigga really barring up. Like, if you listen to
for sure.
Really
I was listening to him before, like I said, and I was listening to Rubber Band Man, the song exactly, and it's so different from trap music now, or any hip-hop now, because I'm like, damn, even for like a quote-unquote street, quote-unquote pop, or like more popular mainstream whatever rapper, this is 3 verses of just him, you know what I mean? No rapper now is doing a song with 3 verses, just them.
You know, when I used to write music and I used to do like no hooks on my songs, it comes from that. Like, I'm just used to niggas just rapping. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not used to like fucking 2.5 minutes or like 2 verses in the chorus. Like, no, I need bars, nigga. It can be 2.5 minutes as long as it's bars. Like 2.5 minutes with no hook, I'm satisfied. But if you got a hook in there, I need at least 3 verses. And when we go back to early 2000s music, it's all 3 verses. There's no 2 verses.
It's all 3 verses, and sometimes it was like the 3rd verse was the best verse. The third verse was like the known verse. Yeah.
Even with Lil Wayne, when you go back, I don't know. When I think of Lil Wayne, sometimes I think he's like, when people talk about mumble rap and like the way music changed, I feel like he's like the intro to that. You know what I mean? But even then, like even on No Ceilings, like almost all of those songs are 3 verses of him just straight up raw freestyling, punching in and out. And so it's like, even during that time, you know what I mean? Like man, get off me, man. It was never like, I won't say watered down as it is now, but like it was never just two verses.
Lyricism
You
was
know
still
what I
the
mean?
focus. Yeah. Even if the
Exactly.
other
Like,
stuff, I mean, like with Wayne, it was the beginning of like the auto tune and the mumble rap. And there's so many things that like Wayne is like not responsible for, but kind of seen as the face of in hip hop that like
yeah,
old heads and older generations are like, this is why hip hop sucks. You know, you have Jay-Z making Death of Autotune and whatnot. But it's like that was considered like, you know, too new, too much of a like a departure from the core of hip hop. And like you said, that was still 3 verses of actual rapping.
yeah.
And people were still
Then,
like, it's too different.
yeah, exactly. And so it's crazy to think like I've always been a Ti fan. Like I've liked I would think I'm too young to remember, or I was too young to remember trap music, but I do remember trap music. You know what I mean? Like I do remember it, like seeing it everywhere and hearing the song. I remember seeing that shit everywhere. That was one of the first albums that I just saw everywhere. Like it was in the mall, it was in the like every CD store in the city. You know what I mean? There was like a banner or poster of the shit. I remember the white cover with the orange trap music and the nigga with the beanie. Like I remember, you know what I mean? And so it's like um, it's, I don't know, like this beef kind of brought all that back. And it's just interesting to see people like, oh, is T.I. trying to gain relevance again? And I'm like, in all honesty, he's only irrelevant if you haven't been paying attention to like if you're not like a hip hop historian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're not somebody who like can constantly see the references and like remnants of old hip hop in the new music. Cause it's like you said with Atlanta, like he is indefinitely like somebody you have to mention when you mention Atlanta. Like there is no way around it. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. When hearing the whole argument for relevance thing, I'm like, was he ever irrelevant? Like, is there ever a time where you heard his name and I was like, what are we talking about T.I. for? You know what I mean? Like, it's never been a space in hip hop like that. At least not to me.
Yeah, I think so. Just to like run down a quick timeline for people who aren't fully tapped in, I think, well, and like you were saying, people are saying it's perhaps relevance because this is kind of in the middle of T.I. doing an album rollout for his first album in however many years. He has a song called Let 'Em Know he put out like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
It's pretty big. It's huge in Atlanta right now. It goes hard. I like it a lot. And then 50 Cent, well, basically, T.I. went on Shannon Sharp's podcast and claimed that 50 Cent had been ducking him on a verses. If you don't know verses, you probably shouldn't be listening to this conversation. Like, you're going to not know a lot of things in this conversation. But versus just like a competitive, you know, a competition where they basically song for song throughout their catalog and see who's better. And basically 50 Cent, too long didn't read it. 50 Cent responded by posting some memes about T.I., which escalated to posting a meme of T.I.'s wife, which prompted T.I. and
his sons was crazy.
Yeah.
That shit is funny.
And his children to put out diss tracks. T.I. put out 4 diss tracks. I listened to 3 of them before this. His kids both put out diss tracks. I definitely listened to those. One of his kids, it's so crazy because neither of them sound like they're, you know, paying homage to T.I., which is whatever. They're probably, you know, your dad's never going to be a favorite rapper, but one of them is crazy, sounds just like J. Cole, and the other one sounds just like Lil Baby. And it's really like, you had the two.
Yeah.
The two.
Domani go hard, though, man. I feel like people, like.
Domani, that was the first I heard of him. I was really impressed.
Yeah. You know, if you go, like, he has a really nice catalog of, like, I don't want to say old school R&B, but he makes very affectionate R&B. You know what I mean? Which I feel like there isn't much of that right now. You know what I mean? I feel like he is an amazing artist. And it was so funny to me when I heard he made a diss track. I'm like, that's from what I've listened to, that's not even your bag. You know what I mean? But apparently I ain't gonna front. I haven't listened to any of the disses because I'm Team 50. And so it's like I have.
We'll get to it.
I haven't listened to him, but people keep saying he ripped on the disc, and he can rap. Like he has in his catalog, he has some songs where he is just spitting bars. And Buddy can rap. His King, I ain't listen to King. I kind of refuse to listen to King because King is just funny looking, and so it's like
his song was whatever. Like I said, it's a watered down Lil Baby flow with some like subliminals that I was like, I didn't need to listen to this. But yeah, I'll just say like People are saying it's like you were saying. People are saying it's opportunistic and like he's doing it for attention. And I think I don't know if that's true. I'm not going to say whether or not that's true, but I will say it is like a good move. It is like the opportunistic move that you're in the middle of a rollout for one of your albums. We all know in hip hop, the number one way to get popping is to be in a big beef. We just saw 2 years ago it basically caused the stoppage of the entire like industry, so everyone could watch these two niggas argue. So, and I just saw it, like you said, Domani is Domani?
Yeah, I think it's Domani.
Yeah, the song. I don't know how much his music usually like how many plays it usually gets, but the newest song he put out that was a 50 disc has like a couple million views. So it's like even some good promo for your kids.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad at it. I'm not saying he is or isn't, but I'm not saying it's working for him in that, and that's not a bad thing.
Yeah. I feel like even if it was like for relevance, like it don't really matter in the essence of a beef. You know what I mean? Because like if like it would be for the relevance thing, it would be different to me if T.I. called out 50 directly. But he just mentioned him, and we all know 50's pet. 50's like, oh, I'm ducking, nigga. I'll show you ducking. Like, but I feel like if it was T.I. calling out 50 like directly, it would be I could see the more relevance thing. But what you're saying with the rollout, beyond relevance, it is just a good opportunity. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, why would you not capitalize on it? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, I feel like I've noticed lately too, people are doing this thing where we're like low, like I want to say villainizing, but like cutting people at the knees for them trying to get their bag. You know what I mean? It's like I've seen that happen with the Breakfast Club, but everybody's mad that they switched to Netflix. And I'm like, I love the Breakfast Club. You know, I love Charlamagne, and so it's like, why would they not get the bag? And I get that like it's behind the paywall now, but it's fucking Netflix. How do you not have access to Netflix in 2026? And if you don't, then you don't. You know what I mean? That ain't really that is kind of.
I can see people being mad. I can see people being mad, but I also like obviously do it. They would obviously do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But back to the beef. I think that I'm Team 50 because when it came to the whole conversation of the verses, which is honestly where this all stems and resides for me. Like this ain't even about niggas rapping, you know what I mean? It's about the verses that it has not happened. And as Team 50, it do at this point kind of look like he ducking. Because it's like, bro, at the end of the day, just do it. If you really think you can watch the nigga, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing all the jokes and shit? And like he's clearly trying to rap with you. You know what I mean? So like at least do something musical. You know what I mean? Like even if it isn't a direct diss track, like just do the verses. You know what I mean? Like it like win, lose, or draw, it's still 50 Cent. You know what I mean? He gonna turn, even if it's a loss, he'll turn it into a win. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's not like I don't really see the whole hold up about it all. You know what I mean? Because like to me, it's just like do the shit for both of them. You know what I mean? I feel like there should be no more talk about this from them unless it's verses. And let what I feel like they should do is this for 50 especially is capitalize on the revival of verses because this has enough attention right now to revive verses. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if anything, if you do want to be like, hey, going forward, I want 5% or something. You know what I mean? Like, because y'all wouldn't be going forward without this beef between me and him. You know what I mean? Like, and it's really on T.I. T.I. hadn't said the word verses. I don't think nobody would even remember. Not even say that they were just forgotten, but like that shit wouldn't even be relevant. You know what I mean? Like that is what has gained relevance in this conversation to me. But I don't know. I think that when it comes to music, though, I think that T.I.'s catalog is just too big to lose the verses. You know what I mean? Because like 50 do got undeniable bangers. You know what I mean?
Definitely has the best 5 best songs, but T.I. has the best 20 for sure.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And so I feel like 50 got some bangers, but I do feel like if it was a versus, T.I.'s catalog is just too long where it's like, let's say that they get to just run unlimited on their end. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a back and forth. Like T.I. would go the whole night. And majority of those songs people would know. You know what I mean?
Features, he washes them. It's not close on features.
It's not, yeah. Do how many features is 50?
I can't name a 50 feature. I know there are some, but I can't name a 50 feature.
Yeah, yeah. If it just in features, hell, just hits off of albums. You know what I mean? Like T.I. goes too long. It's just too many. You know what I mean? And so it's like I feel like that might be. I don't really believe he's afraid of a loss, but it's been a minute since 50 has taken a loss in any type of beef or any type of whatever. And how he wins these last couple of beefs has not been musically, has just been straight through memes and shit, straight through comedy. And I feel like that does work, but not on the hip hop core fan base, which is who I feel like is paying attention to this. Because like you were saying, like to people who may or may not know what Versus is, this ain't in their world. You know what I mean? But to people who do know, this is in your world, and it's something that like whether you care about the artist or not, just from being a fan of hip hop, you're invested. Because it's like this is two hip hop icons. These are two like living legends still. You know what I mean? And so it's like they are potentially going at it, and it's like.
And it's a great proxy for New York versus Atlanta, like overall.
But would that even be a competition? Atlanta wins that easily. There is no competition.
Atlanta wins post 2000, but if it's pre 2000, I think New York washes.
But that's what I'm saying. Like how like in the conversation of Atlanta versus New York now, who is going pre 2000s?
Well, I think it's like. It's an interesting moment because they both represent kind of the moment where Atlanta took it. You know what I mean? Like, I think 50 was like the last rapper from New York who could claim like New York was like running hip hop. And because like you're still Jay-Z. You still have Jay-Z at that time. You still have, I don't know who else was going around, but you still have a lot of New York people. It's not like.
I feel like it was at that time, it was before 50 destroyed them. It was Ja and Fat Joe and Jay-Z, and then 50 destroyed them, destroyed their careers, and then it was just 50.
Yeah, for sure. And then after 50, you could say like as 50's and T.I.'s careers kind of ascended, like T.I. and Atlanta kind of took the torch from there. So I think that's also why what makes it an interesting verse is because it talks about like this pivot point in hip hop where we go from ostensibly the last era into the one we're in ultimately. And I think that's like a lot of the arguing I see about it online, that's like the subtext I see of it, where it feels like a lot of like Atlanta niggas arguing about like Atlanta being better than New York. Wow. But I feel like through this T.I. versus 50 beef.
I feel like though, like the only reason why that might either be because that's not even really a conversation or a debate. Like I feel like objectively that is the truth. Like Atlanta has like, if we're being, I'm 100% honest, besides Atlanta and Texas, the South is owned in those two regions. Like there is no other who else. And then with those two spaces being said, hip hop is owned by the South right now. You know what I mean? And so it's like if it ain't Texas, it's Atlanta. You know what I mean? Like there is nothing in between. Maybe Louisiana, because people love NBA YoungBoy. I didn't know he had that kind of fan base.
The biggest rapper in the world right now, probably.
Bro, I didn't know. I did not know. He is filling out arenas across the globe.
The videos of his arena shows are the craziest thing that I've ever seen.
He did one in Portland and fucking Amywood.
Oh, word?
Word. I was blown away. And then the people that she went with, I was like, word? Like a young boy show? Like, would have never known. But apparently, she fucking loves young boy. You know what I mean? She was rapping the nigga. I'm like, this is crazy. I didn't know. You know what I mean? I didn't know that he had that kind of following. But like beyond Louisiana and Texas and Atlanta, where else in the country is music really popping off at?
I think LA for sure. I'm not, it's not what I'm up on for sure, but like.
I was just gonna say, who?
It's just like in terms of all of music?
No, not all of music, hip-hop? Just in hip hop right now. Who currently? From outside of the, huh?
Yeah, currently. I mean, obviously Kendrick and like TDE.
That don't count to me. I feel like everybody like
well, if you're not gonna count
because black people across the country have like adopted Kendrick. He is not, besides his last album is very West Coast, you know what I mean? Sure. But I feel like for a minute, his music has been very West Coast. It was, to me personally, this last album is his most West Coast album he's ever made.
Sure, but I think like we have to acknowledge hip hop is kind of like post-regionalism at this point.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, Kendrick is a California nigga. I'll never take that away from California, but it's like, in the space of hip hop, is he is his stardom regional like that? Like, can we say he doesn't belong? Like, does he solely belong to California?
Well, you could say the same thing about Future and a lot of the biggest Atlanta
I would.
rappers. Okay,
I would.
Well,
I mean,
then who are we counting as like? If we can't count the biggest people, if we're not, you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah.
If we're not counting the biggest people, then who are we counting?
I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair.
Yeah,
I don't know. I still say the South is in charge, though. The South running shit.
So your team 50. Would you say you don't? So you don't think he's winning the beef though? Why would you say your team 50?
Because he's fucking hilarious. Okay. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm team 50 because I love the petty. You know what I mean? Like if it wasn't for the petty, if he like, let's say this, if it was strictly music, I would be team T.I. But it's not. It's 50 Cent, so it's not strictly music. You know what I mean? Like it started, bro. The meme of the picture of his wife is hilarious, bro. We cannot deny that.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the unspoken and kind of spoken because they're both kind of throwing this jab. Like I don't know if you remember, but like Chris Brown and Quavo were beefing like 2 years ago.
Chris watched him too.
But the thing about it is it came to a point in the beef where they were both kind of being like, you beat women. No, you beat women. Like, you hit Carucci. You hit Carucci too. Like, and there's like a little tiny bit of that with the 50 versus T.I. beef because 50 has allegedly probably put his hand on some women. T.I. has
allegedly
a lot of weird stuff going on.
But my favorite part of the beef so far is that nigga's son King on that live. He's like, nigga, your mama dead as fuck, nigga. That shit was funny as fuck. I'm like, what is dead as fuck, nigga?
Yeah, there's like a wholesome, like I watched like I said, I was watching one of the kids' videos, like the top comment, and this is like the most positive spin you could put on the beef, is the top comment was like, I just love how they spoke about Tiny once and these boys came and defended their mama. And I was like, if that's how you want to look at it, lady, like that is what happened, but they were crashing out. They were crashing out.
Your mama dead as fuck, nigga.
And Damani's whole song is like talking to his dead mother. It's on some like Meet the Graham shit.
Yeah, that shit is crazy. But here's the thing too. I believe a lot of what like older heads are saying about like I hope it stays in the music, and I really hope we don't put a lot of fuel on the fire. Because while sure the streets is dead, these are two old street niggas. You know what I mean? And so it's like there's no telling what their connections may be.
They both have too much money and too much going on. Like I earn it. Like I hear that. Not worried. Like they're both, and they both have. The feds are watching. I'll just say that. Yeah. The feds are watching both of them for myriad reasons. So they would be wise to not. But yeah, I don't know. I wish, because it's hard because like I saw some comments being like, you know, when's the last time 50 put out a song? Like it's crazy to expect 50 to like respond to it musically.
Yeah.
Fair, but and then T.I. said this in the diss tracks, and this is a point I think J. Cole has said before, many people have said before. It is kind of laughable to be a 50-year-old man just making memes on Instagram, as that's what we're doing in response to someone calling out your character. So I also think like it's really interesting because I think a lot of the internet has. I think most of the internet's team T.I. is the vibes I've been getting. I don't know if that's just because I'm on team T.I., so it's showing me that kind of shit.
It is. It's the vibe.
But I think
from everything that I'm seeing,
it's so funny to me. Have you noticed how much the public perception of 50 Cent shifts pretty much every 6 months?
Yeah.
When he put out the Diddy shit, everyone's like, "This is." 50 is awesome. He's journalism, blah, 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 all this stuff. But then here, people, I don't know. I was talking to someone before, and it's kind of like 50 Cent just kind of does the same troll assholey thing. and sometimes it aligns with good, and sometimes it aligns with the forces of evil. And
which one would you call this? This the forces of evil?
I wouldn't even. He should. It's just put your phone down. Because it's not even that deep. Like, do I think, like, in response to people saying it's like for promo or whatever, it's clearly a line that if you talk about someone, post someone, etc.'s wife online, like,
you gonna become viral.
It's up. Yeah, you talk about someone's mom or wife, it's up. So once you do that, anything anyone does in retaliation, people are going to be sympathetic towards. So that's why I'm like, if you want to do your little troll shit, that's fine. But you knew what you were doing by posting the man's wife.
My thing about 50's trolling is that he trolls in like unspoken truths. If that makes sense.
No, you're gonna have to dig deeper on that one.
Let's keep it $150. Tiny's BBL is wild, and the reason why that picture is so funny is because it's real. Like if it was a like Photoshop, it wouldn't be as funny. But because we know that that's what she looked like, it's fucking hilarious. But because he did it in a disrespectful way, and it's true, niggas is like, oh, that's disrespectful, and it's like, hey. It's facts though. Are we going to deny that? Are we going to deny that this is just a picture that I posted? I did nothing to. This is just a picture of her, and y'all feelings is hurt, nigga. Like that's not my fault. Like, granted, like how he framed it is on him, but them being mad that he posted a wild picture of her. There's a wild picture of her, my nigga. The picture ain't my fault. And the picture is hilarious, and that's why niggas mad. If the picture wasn't funny, niggas wouldn't be talking about it. Niggas mad because. Niggas mad because he posted that shit and the comments was crazy with niggas dying and niggas was like, oh, y'all laughing at my mama because she built funny? Only we can say that. Only we can say that. Like, all right. Okay, only you can say that, but she built funny. That's just the reality of it. She built funny and your daddy and her got some weird shit going on with young women. So these are just the facts. You know what I mean? Like it's that's what I'm saying. He even with the Diddy thing, like it's always like it's the things that like the culture whispers about, but exactly. 50's like, no, we gonna talk about this. Yeah. We gonna put this, we gonna make a meme out of this because I hear the whispers, I hear what niggas is really saying. And that's what I feel like this started as. You know what I mean? I feel like it was just him paying attention to like the ethos of how people like, he probably thought it was hilarious and he was like, yo, this is wild and this nigga wanna talk about me, but nigga, this is wild. And so like he just put it out there like, I don't know. That's why I'm Team 50 though. That's why I'm Team 50 because it's like, hey, niggas speaking facts. I don't care how it make you feel. Facts over feelings. Like the niggas speaking facts.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna say anything about Tiny. Not because I disagree, but because you've said more than enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is just the what you said about unspoken truths, I think does hit the nail on the head, is that there is a lot of stuff within all culture, but specifically within the Black community that we're all abreast of that nobody talks about.
Even on 50's side though, like T.I. and them are definitely shooting the good shots. You know what I mean? Like nobody's really not hitting the mark. You know what I mean? Like nobody's really off the mark in this. And that's why I feel like 50 is going to have to like do something musical because all of T.I. shots have been musical, but they haven't been off the mark. And so it's like at some point, like how to say it? Like if you're playing two different sports together, right? But one person's playing basketball and one person's playing football, and based off how the game is structured, when the person who plays football scores, they score more than you. And when you score basketball style, you score less than them. The winning strategy is eventually going to be to pick up the football playbook because that's who's putting up the most points. You know what I mean? And so that's what this is looking like. T.I.'s putting up the most points in his play style. And what 50's game plan is hilarious. And it works on people like me who don't give that much of a fuck. It's all just funny at the end of it. And so, but we're the minority. Like people like, because this is a cultural conversation, it's only a conversation because enough people actually care to make it a conversation. You know what I mean? And so because that's who is in the audience, that's who he has to play to. I'm not in the audience. I'm just watching from the TV. You know what I mean? So it's like you're not putting on the show for me. I'm just watching. I'm enjoying the entertainment, but like this ain't for me. This is for the people in the crowd. These are for the people in the audience. And so like because of that, he's gonna have to play 50. He's gonna have to play T.I. So I have to say he's gonna have to play the same game T.I. playing. And like, that's because T.I.
Sorry, keep going. Finish.
No, I was gonna say because T.I.'s winning.
I just don't see 50 making a song. I think he could. Like,
I don't either.
Yeah, you could.
Go ahead.
He could do the verses route, which is like kind of as close as he can get to getting in the booth without getting in the booth. But like we've discussed, I don't know if that's not a guaranteed win for him, and I don't think it would be.
It's not a win.
Yeah. You get to the end of the Get Rich or Die Trying, and T.I. is still on, like, he's just getting to the paper trail, and you're like, oh shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he got Rihanna out now. Yeah. So yeah, it's hard because it's like, as far as I've seen, 50 has just like removed everything about it from his IG, and you'd think the move for him would be to just shut up until it blows over. But his ego, I just can't see his ego. Yeah, like I said, I can't see his ego doing that. So
yeah,
I don't know what he's going to do.
He's going to have something to say. But what I believe is going to happen is I'm surprised he took it all down. And I believe he's going to make, a documentary is coming out. Like,
I saw he posted he was making a documentary. That's been debunked. I think it was a joke.
I feel like that's his new
only play. That's his only play, which is a really weird game because like the metaphor you said is like you were playing baseball and he was playing football, so you started directing a movie and you're just like, well, how do we score this?
No,
like, I guess he wins because we are not even watching the game anymore. We're not.
You were watching the movie. And he wins extra because niggas at home watching TV like me gonna be like, hell yeah, I'm watching that. So it's like, yeah, he winning. But I believe that that's gonna happen. And the only reason why I say that is because he's a master of deflection. Because like we also got like go back to his early beefs. The only beef he took head on was the job beef. Everything like we didn't even know he was beefing with Fat Joe because the job beef was so big. He like on the side took out Fat Joe's career because Fat Joe was close to the job. You know what I mean? And so it's like, he's a master. He's a master at like I'm not saying not confronting the issue because he definitely stand on business. And but like he's a master of deflection. You know what I mean?
It wasn't fully a beef, but he did like actually come out against Kanye when they were doing the Curtis versus graduation thing, and he just straight up lost that. And I don't know. And T.I. is one of the diss songs he lays out like a bunch of beefs he claims 50 has lost, and I was like, I didn't even remember this beef. Apparently he beefed with Jadakiss and Cameron.
50, so this is my thing. Like niggas can't say 50 lost these beefs because what are the songs that these niggas put out on 50?
I just heard all this and I was like, I don't remember these beefs. So that's why I was saying that.
So but like no disrespect to Cam, because my thing is I really like beyond all this beef shit, I do love that all these old rappers have found new pockets and found new lanes. You know what I mean? Like they're not just still rapping and still fucking. But I don't know. Jay-Z don't count. Jay-Z he ain't making no more music. He ain't got to.
Jay-Z, I don't think he's done. I think we'll get another Jay-Z project before it's all said and done.
I'm not sure. I think I don't. What is he gonna talk to us about? I feel like
just because I think we already saw him do it once. I think when Jay-Z's done rapping, he's going to be like, this is it, guys. Final album. Because like he literally already did it. And I feel like he thinks that much of his own legacy that he's going to want to be like, this is the final chapter type shit.
It's the final.
Yeah, so I'm not saying it will be good or that, you know what I mean?
I think that if he gets back in the booth, it will be amazing because of his money. Like I feel like he makes too much money and he knows too many legends in the game to not put together like a masterpiece. That's why 444 was so good.
Yeah, 444 is great.
He got around niggas. He got around like the other legends, and I know he didn't. People say he don't write no more, but I don't believe that. I don't believe I believe he did start punching in and out at some point, but I don't believe he just doesn't write anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like for is half of it is poetry. You know what I mean? So like nigga ain't freestyling poetry. Like maybe you are. But
like I'm sure Jay Electronica and Makami are in there giving him bars, but a lot of his shit's so personal. And whatever the last shit he put out that was on that like Khaled album, I want to say, he put out like that 7-minute verse like 3 years ago. You don't remember what I'm talking about? But it was just, he gets so personal sometimes, and I feel like especially like at the later his career goes, that it'd be like, it's like the way it's like Kanye and Xaii, where it's like Xaii definitely wrote a lot of it, and like maybe more than we'd like to admit, but
Xaii, hey man, free Xaii, man. I heard he's coming out with something.
He just put out something. I wanted to listen to it, but I was like, I didn't have time before this. But he just put out something that was like talking about how good music fell apart. So I'd be interested to tap into that. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, no, it's not, man. Free Xaii. After he made, what was it, New Africa? He made New Africa 1 and New Africa 2. New Africa 1 is probably one of the best Black albums I've ever heard. Like that is probably one of the and New Africa 2, probably the blackest albums I've ever heard culturally. But also Xaii is a fucking master at rap. Like he's like, to me, like Lupe is my favorite rapper. You know what I mean? As far as like I would just turn on a catalog. But when it comes to like rap respect and like the music that I know is just like, no matter when I catch it, is always going to be like palatable to my ears. Because I will admit, Lupe got some shit where I'm like, I don't even know like if I can listen to that anymore.
Sure,
yeah,
for sure.
And so it's like, but I feel like with Xaii, I know no matter when I catch him or whatever, the beat gonna be fire and the wordplay gonna be ridiculous. You know what I mean? And so it's like I'm just excited to see whatever he got coming. But it's kind of crazy that like, I guess like what you're saying, like how like he just kept in a pocket, like I do, man. I mean, hey, he must be making money. He ain't really tried to break free from that deal. You know what I mean? He ain't never really tried to like sue Ye or get out of that shit. And I feel like it's because Ye take him everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he has if you're like a writer on some of the biggest Kanye songs ever, which Xaii is, I'm sure the bread for that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, facts. But I think that I don't know, man. I think that he's one of the most slept on artists in the good music catalog and just in hip hop in general.
Oh, like, for sure. And the way that people make fun of Drake for keeping niggas like Roy Wood and Majid Jordan in the OVO dungeon, I feel like that's actually Kanye or Xaii in the good music dungeon, writing for all them niggas and kind of just being low, which not a bad job.
Drake's dungeon is crazy though, bro. Like there are so many artists like trapped in there. You know what I mean? Like not getting free. And I was like, I'm really afraid for Phobats. Like, cause
he man, that's crazy.
We ain't gonna hear from that nigga ever.
I just heard so have you ever listened to Joji?
Yeah.
Joji just put out an album and Phobats is on it. It's the first time I've seen a Phobats feature. First time I heard the name Phobats since he was popular like 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he immediately, the year after that, he got signed to OVO.
And
which, when I saw that, I was like, damn.
Drake's going to be harvesting your blood forever, buddy.
But he from Dallas, not even to be like, we just cutthroat down here. But I don't think if he really from Dallas, he ain't going like that. He ain't going.
I don't know. It felt like, I hate the term industry plant, but it felt so the way he popped up and everyone instantly was like, oh, he got a co-sign from Drake, he got a co-sign from Kanye, he got a co-sign from The Weeknd. I was like, this dude has one song that's big on TikTok. What do you mean?
But I feel like what happens sometimes, not even a cape for him because he's from Dallas, but I definitely felt the same industry play vibes. But I wonder what happens sometimes if they catch the right agent or manager. Like
That's exactly what it was. It was a manager, was what I've heard.
They catch the right person who knows everybody, and they get and the music is good, and they get exposed to all these other artists, and the other artists is like, yeah, this shit fine. You know what I mean? Like this will be a #1 hit. You know what I mean?
The thing is, he got all that motion off of 90 seconds of music. He had that.
Hey, TikTok changed the game.
90 seconds of music.
TikTok changed the game.
No one liked any other of his songs. None of his others. I listened. They were fine. But like it was just
not like that first one.
It was just that first one, which was just 90 seconds of kind of just one hook and vibes.
Hey,
and then they were like, Drake's calling him. I was like, yo, what? Like, whose kid is this?
But yeah, I was just thinking of somebody else that happened with. You remember Stuck in the Tree, that chick?
Stuck in the Tree?
Yeah, it's her name is Xaii, S-I-A-T. But it stands for Stuck in the Tree. But she has a song. I think the song is called Stuck in the Tree. But like that shit blew up off of one viral dance video that was like a minute long. And that song took off. But it was a full song, you know what I mean? But I don't know, with Phobats, I feel like what he's doing is so unique that if he finds his sound and the right pocket in that style, he will be a game-changing artist. Because all he's doing is flipping old 80s and 90s R&B and hip-hop songs, you know what I mean? And flipping them and changing the beats and putting his own melody and shit on it, you know what I mean? And it ain't nothing wild, but it's different. Nobody in this generation is going back that far. Pop Smoke was doing it, and there are a few artists who do reach that far back. Big X is doing it right now, and people are loving that shit.
Yeah.
And so it's
I feel like, with all respect to Phobats, besides the Act 1 Day to Day, which again was a really hot hook, he turned into a mega hit. The rest of it was less good The Weeknd to me, which is kind of what you're saying. The Weeknd does go back to that 80s, 90s R&B bag. That's especially that ethereal kind of that dirty but yearning sound was how he got on initially. I don't know. Maybe Phobats will prove me wrong. But I was like, yeah, this.
Do you not even to get off on the tangent, but do you believe The Weeknd made coke music?
That he invented it, or that his music was?
That he was making coke music.
Objectively, I think. That's the song. He had a song called "Glass Table Girls." It was.
That song went hard. The whole House of Blues trilogy.
Oh yeah.
House of Balloons trilogy goes crazy.
There's no other way to classify it than coke R&B, which is great. I agree that was a beautiful time musically. I don't listen to The Weeknd. I mean, I listen to The Weeknd a lot because he has such a big ass catalog, but his newer shit I haven't been that into. But just because I haven't tried, so he might still be cooking. I won't find out. Did you hear about this Magic City thing I was telling you about?
No, what happened? I tried to look for it, but I didn't find no video.
So basically, the Atlanta Hawks, my favorite basketball team, tomorrow are playing the Orlando Magic. They decided to have a promotional night called Magic City Night. Of course, Magic City being the famous institutional Atlanta strip club, cultural institution. No, that's not if you're not from, that's not a joke at all. I mean, if you're this far into the podcast, you probably know what it is.
We hope
this has been just, as always, just rap conversation. But yeah, they announced they're doing that. Most people, I I didn't see any negative pushback about it until this dude named Luke Kornet, who is the backup center for the San Antonio Spurs, as you could probably guess, white guy, Catholic, went to his Substack and basically was like, a strip club is a place where women, a lot of women are trafficked to. It's not a safe environment for women. We should, as the NBA, should strive to uphold better standards and not promote this kind of thing. Just imagine what you think a religious person would say when they heard.
With all of that, he ain't wrong, but who give a fuck right now, nigga? We in Magic City. Like, we live. We live.
Yeah, it's the conversation that like came out of it. I found interesting because, of course, like me from Atlanta, I love the Atlanta Hawks.
We live.
A promotion couldn't be more. I spent $120 on a hoodie, y'all. Okay, because there's an Atlanta Hawks hoodie that just says Magic City on it, and that hoe clean, and it's coming. So obviously,
you sounded like I gotta have that. Like it's
the collector's item, bro. Even if I never wear that shit in 20 years, if I'm like, especially if people like cancel it and like people really raise hell about it in 20 years, I'm just like, oh, you didn't have the Magic City Atlanta Hawks hoodie? Yeah, I still have the Magic City Atlanta Hawks hoodie. We did that.
Depending on how basketball go, how the world go, that shit will be worth something in a couple years. Like,
yeah.
It'll be worth, because people, not even a couple years, in like 20, like you say, like 20 years, it'll be like super retro.
Yeah, and
I'll be like one of the few hundreds.
And I won't sell it. So should have bought your own.
Have it put on your casket. Have it laid on your casket.
Yeah, bury me in it. Lay on my casket. Bury me in it. No one can. Y'all ain't getting that hoe. I'll have my ghost in it. Rob my grave. See what happens. Spinning your block from the other side, brother.
Fucking ghost Creme come out in the hoodie and shit.
Yeah, I get to heaven in the hoodie. I'm like, damn.
And then you get up there, and then Jesus is just like, hey, it was fly.
It's like, I like the wings. Jesus is like, I like them wings.
Magic City, baby.
But it was interesting because, like, obviously I was like, yeah, hell yeah, of course. But then once he said this, a lot of people started being like, yeah, this is kind of weird. And I was like, what?
But how is it weird?
It's weird in that it is novel. You know what I mean? It's weird in that it's like, I think it's objectively weird if you don't consider things that are weird as bad, right? I think it's weird as in different, out of the ordinary. It's literally never been done before for an NBA team to partner with a strip club.
Oh, they did a crossover?
Yeah,
I thought they did like a party in Magic City.
No,
they did a crossover branding
at the arena. It's going to be Magic City night at the Atlanta Hawks game. They're not gonna have strippers. A lot of people who are freaking out seem to think women will be
sliding down
the poles from the rafters. They're gonna do wing specials, drink specials, and just kind of have merch, right? So it's not gonna be anything too crazy, but it is going to be Magic City night at an NBA game.
Are they gonna turn it like? They need to do something with the stadium to make it Magic City.
Why this is amazing? Guess who's performing at halftime?
Who?
T.I.
Future.
T.I.
Oh, word?
Yeah. So actually the perfect that should have been the segue. But so like, yeah, like seems like if I was in Atlanta, there's no way I would not be in the building that night. But the people who are like are feeling weird about it are like, yeah, is it a good idea to have a strip club theme night at an event that is an all ages event? Which is an argument that if I'm willing to listen to, that people don't want their children to go to a strip club themed event. My kid, me and August would go, and I would be happy to tell him that's the place adults go to do adult things. Now eat these chicken wings and let's watch basketball, because I know how to fucking talk to my kid. But I know a lot of people hate talking to their kids, so they're going to be like, well, I don't want my kid to be exposed to that. I hear that argument. Cool. There's 41 other games you could take your kid to. So that's my rebuttal, but I do hear it, right?
So my thing is, you can only say that space is if you're outside of certain cultures, basketball culture, strip club culture, and hip hop culture. Because like all of those things converge perfectly on that brand. That's why it's so massive. Because like you are bringing three different worlds that have always been interlocked in a weird way, but have never ever actually met or touched anywhere. And it's like ultimate branding, low key, probably one of the littest events I heard of in regards to basketball in a long time. But with the whole argument of like not wanting their kids to be exposed, like I can't objectively, you can't dispute anybody's like comfortability with whatever they want their children to be exposed to. But back to what you said about talking to them, like, yes, you know what I mean? Like, why would like if like how to say it? I don't believe in like not exposing kids to like real truth via conversation or experience because there is going to happen regardless. You're not going to be able to hold off the world or their feelings. You know what I mean? Like you just can be there for those experiences and give them honest truth as they need it. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I don't know. Even with my daughter, bro, like there is no boundaries. If she got a question, and I tell her all the time, like, this ain't something simple. You know what I mean? Like if you really want to sit down and listen, we can dig into this. But she don't ever really want to sit down and listen because she's a kid. Exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, people think their kids are going to be hyper fixated on it. If your kid asks you a question and you tell them the answer, they're good. They're
not going to care. if you don't make it a thing or like they're supposed to be weird about it. If you just go in and like, oh yeah, no, this is the sports game. You know what I mean? Like this is they chicken wings, son. Like you know what I mean? Like chicken wings and t-shirts. You want a t-shirt? Like and like it ain't really like beyond that. Like I will say as long as because you know Atlanta is crazy. As long as it ain't no like the women like there is no theme, there's no stripper themed like
stuff.
You know what I mean? Like that they definitely can't do nothing like that. But it's Atlanta, so like I don't know. But I will say, and like if that's what they do, then I understand even more so because that is weird. Like why take it there if they not coming down from the rafters? Why even play the game? Like why even do that? You know what I mean? Like don't tease the people who gonna want to be turned about that. You know what I mean? Like they gonna be mad. That is just they gonna see the girl with the food and the wings. They gonna see her and be like, if there is not a stripper pole inside this motherfucking stadium when I walk in, I'm leaving.
I paid $300 for these tickets.
There better be a motherfucker.
I bought 200 more for a lap dance.
But it's like, yeah, no, if you don't, you know, if they not teasing toward that at all, to me, it ain't no big deal. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing to be. It ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I can't be like, you know, like I think to the dude making the statement about like, oh, you know, like women being trafficked, like I don't even want to like that part is nothing to disregard because it's true. Like strip clubs and like prostitution rings are very almost all the time where women are trafficked. But I can't speak for Magic City, but it's fucking Magic City.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So like, I don't like, that doesn't make it better or worse.
If there is like keeping all the potential dangers of that work, like keeping that in mind, a place like Magic City is like the idyllic like version of the strip club environment we should want as people who care about those kind of things. So it's like I said, I don't know full well that everything that happens there is above board, but I do imagine it is because it's this cultural institution. Everyone there is throwing so much money. Like a lot of these women,
girls are.
Yeah, a lot of the girls are business owners. Are like this. The not to say just like. Not to say they're all in some kind of other types of sex work, but all these women are entrepreneurs and are making a lot of money, and this is just one of the ways they're doing so.
I was gonna say, all of those women are generally well protected.
Yeah,
because them bouncers and them border dudes for the money, they don't be playing. I done seen videos of them throwing niggas, like full on catching niggas mid air and throwing them back over the banister or out the club. You know what I mean? And so it's like, and I say that to say. They're like men do get fucking crazy and rowdy when it comes to naked women, but those women in particular are protected. Like, when is the last time you've heard about a shooting in Magic City?
No.
And I only said that to say, like, that clearly means that they checking niggas, you know what I mean? Because, like, all that alcohol and all that money and all that energy, somebody getting in with a gun, somebody getting shot that night. You know what I mean?
Every night.
If there's one in the building. But they're clearly, they don't get shot all the time. So to me, for what it is, it's a rather safe environment. You know what I mean? Like, I would go in there and be a little disarmed, even though I'm in a strip club, you know what I mean? Because it's fucking Magic City. And like you said, people are throwing ridiculous amounts of cash and the music's loud and good and I'm getting drunk and my friends are here and we're turning up and having a good time. The girls are beautiful. Like, I don't see it being a space, not even to like even dive into the whole trafficking thing. I don't see it being a dangerous space. And for that dude to speak on it that way, it's like, what are you trying to say about strip clubs? And then what are you trying to say about Magic City? Because like these are two industries and industry and an institution that deserve the same amount of respect as any other entrepreneurial space. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I feel like it's kind of lame when people use religion to like talk down on sex work, especially when the sex workers are people of color, because we know what they really saying without saying it. And I hate to make everything racial, but we know what they really saying without them saying it. You know what I mean?
No
like,
doubt.
And I only say that to say, like, granted, it ain't happening in Tennessee, but I think about Nashville. Charlamagne calls it the white Atlanta a lot, and I think that that's pretty true. But not to say that Atlanta is just a dangerous place or a bad place, but a lot of shit go down in the downtown streets of Atlanta. You know what I mean? And the same could be said for Tennessee. Like, there's very
I lived in both cities. It's both black in both cities. It's black people or white people with a lot of money and who are like and young and beautiful and popular. And, you know, in Nashville, they're making country music. In Atlanta, it's making hip hop. Like, these are some of the coolest, youngest people in the South, just doing whatever the fuck they want to do generally and getting in run into the law. And it's, you know, not lawless at all, but shit goes down.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It's not lawless, but the law is low. And so, but yeah, I just think of like you ain't hearing them conversations about them places. But granted, they also ain't no basketball teams from there or doing them kind of crossovers. But that's because they ain't Atlanta. Like, they can't. You know what I mean? Like, Atlanta's the only place where that can happen, and I feel like it should. You know what I mean? Like why would there not be a crossover like that?
Yeah, like you were speaking to, and I think that's like the way you put it earlier is like the best way I've heard anyone put it. That it like hip hop, basketball, and music, strip culture, all are and more in particular, strip clubs, strip culture are all intertwined intrinsically. Like, there's NBA players, like there's NBA player Lou Williams who has his own wing special at Magic City. People talk about there's certain NBA players who have a reputation of going to strip clubs a lot and always have. We know the biggest music in Atlanta and thus the country has to be tested out, goes through these places like strip clubs first. And for that reason, whenever people are like, I've seen people in other teams being like poo-pooing this, I'm like, great, you can't play any more Atlanta hip hop at your games. Cool? We cool with that? Are we all cool with that? We'll do no Magic City tonight, but no one else can play the Migos. Cool? Deal? It is so validating because it is this part of black culture that Atlanta is also the symbol of, like, in America, black. Like, I cringe at the statement, but black excellence in America. And like, as much as it may not be a thing the more conservative side wants to embrace, but this Magic City basketball, hip hop culture energy is what has turned Atlanta into just like some city into the Black Hollywood. So it's beautiful to be able to acknowledge all those things in one event, and it's, as far as I know, never really been done at that scale before.
Exactly. Like, and I don't think at that scale, it's never been done. Like, I feel like there have maybe been some street sport events, but I don't think there's ever been a sporting event that brings all that together. And like, I don't mean like, it would have, for me, it had to be a paid sporting event, because going back to what you're saying about like the reason why it's all connected is because the music for one, and then the basketball players having the money, and rappers want to be ball players, and ball players want to be rappers. Like that's always been a thing, you know what I mean? And so they cross over in the same spaces. And basketball would like you would never go to a basketball like a basketball game and not hear some hip hop. Mm-hmm. It just won't happen. You know what I mean? Like there is no.
I mean, there's some schools that might happen, but the basketball ain't gonna be hitting. Basketball ain't gonna be hitting.
You know what I'm saying? They don't matter. Them schools ain't winning no championships. They ain't putting no numbers for real. And like it's just all intertwined. You know what I mean? It's the perfect branding of all. Like I don't say all aspects, but of like the most, like you were saying, Black excellence, like the most, like some of the most iconic aspects of modern Black culture. I don't want to limit our culture to just those three things. You know what I mean? But like, there's some of the most iconic aspects of the modern Black culture, and I think that it's perfect that they're crossing over like that. And I also, you know me, I also think it's awesome that a white man's mad.
Exactly. Giving it free promo too. Thank you, Luke. His name is Luke. Thank you, Luke. I want to go back to what you were saying though, because I do think it's so important. Because you know, in looking at a lot of people's responses to this, it's really made me reevaluate like how I look at what I talk to my kid about, and like the things I want to talk to my kid about, and like it made me realize I grew up in such a. I learned everything pretty much on the internet, like, or from some other badass 15, 16-year-olds that happens in life. Like, if we want to talk about, like, sex or even things that are much less, like, high risk, but, like, still, like, drinking or smoking or all these things that, impact my life that as a teenager I'm going to be getting into. I learned about all those things from the internet or from some other badass kids, and I'm generally fine. I went to, there were problems. There were a lot of problems, but 30 now, I'm generally fine. But I do think a lot could have gone better if, and I love my mom, shout out to my mom, but I had parents who were like, hey, let's sit down and actually have a conversation with you about this, this, and this. And I think, hearing people be like, I don't want to talk to my kid about strippers, whatever. And like, at the age that is appropriate for him, I can't wait to talk to my kid about all these kinds of things, because I want to be the one that gets to talk to him about it and not whatever. Adults don't realize. I realize, like, I've seen through that once your kid has a phone, they're learning about everything within about 6 months. Like, you got, before you give your kid a phone, you need to give them every single possible talk you think you'll need to have. Do that before you give them a phone. Because like you said, I got a phone within a week. I was like up all night reading about or looking at videos of all types of shit, because I'm fucking 12 and I'm like, don't know about the world. And you just gave me a box where I could look in at any part of the world, what anyone said about anything. So it's like, your kid could be 11, 12. You think they don't know about strippers? I'm sorry. Your kid got an iPad and typed in boobs immediately. That was one of the first 5 things he did. I know. I was there. I did it.
No, what's so crazy is too, like I feel like people perceive that as like you have to like take away like technology or whatever from your kids, but like I let Kaya get on the iPad all the time, you know what I mean? Or she watches YouTube videos all the time on my TV. But it ain't nothing. I mean, it is brain rot. And I really wish I had the power to like change what she's like into in that sense, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like these things are what she likes. I've tried to put, and I'm also glad she watches anime, you know what I mean? Because she watches, that lets me know her brain ain't just rotten. Because man, some of that shit she be watching, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't, like it's melting my brain just listening to it. You know what I mean? But I think that people are like misrepresent that in their mind as like, oh, I got to keep my kid away from technology and off of YouTube and da 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 da. And it's like, no, just supervise. Just supervise. Like it ain't like they're going to see a kid with the phone. There's gonna be some kid out there walking around with the newest iPad or the newest whatever, the newest Apple Watch or something, and you're gonna show it to your kid and they're gonna want to know what it looks like. Just supervise. You know what I mean? Like you can't stop their exposure to the shit. So you should just be in front of the exposure.
And foster a relationship where you actually like not on some I'm a parent like checking on what you're watching, but like you actually hang out and watch stuff with them from time to time. You know what I mean? So you can, again, without being this like, you know, this thing kids want to recoil against, this like a figure of authority who's going to punish them, that's like judging them. Instead of coming at it from that angle, actually foster a relationship where at some point and day, week, wherever, where your kid's watching stuff, that you're watching stuff together, so that you actually just naturally know and they're actually just comfortable showing you things that they're into and actually can ask you questions as things come up that they're not familiar with, because that's just going to happen.
You know, exactly. Now that I know she watches anime. Okay, hold on. Let me close my door. We'll have to edit that out. But I watch
anime,
some of the stuff with her, but like I'm really excited for her to like to figure out what animation into and just sit down and lock in on some anime, because that's my go-to. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm into, and it's just cool, like you're saying, to foster that relationship and have that space to bond. So when she asks me questions like, "Oh, what does that mean?" Like I can tell her what I know, or be like, "I don't know. Let's find out." You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I'm just really excited about that, and I feel like all that to say with the supervision, like just like find a way to, like you're saying, figure out how to be in it and be aware. You know what I mean? And like I'm very bad at like playing pretend or like the dollhouse stuff. Like I'm really bad at that because it's just hard for me to get into. And I want her, not to say I want her to do more, but like I stay into it. You know what I mean? And so but when it comes to like what she likes to watch and stuff like that, I find the space to be. And I have sat and watched some of that shit with her, and I'd be like, Daddy ain't gonna lie to you, this is wild. Like,
you got some garbage taste right now, baby.
This is crazy, but because she likes to watch, which I also know, going back to like the conversations like you might need to have. There's like, she watches this family play Roblox together, and like Roblox has all these different like little games and worlds you can enter, and then they go in because their dad is playing with them. He's showing them essentially how to play video games, and it's like so much a learning experience, but it's just like they are learning how to play video games and different video games. And he clearly loves video games. And so he's walking them through this. And me and her play Roblox together sometimes. But I'm really bad because they play pretend. But they'll go into like a Minecraft world and like build a home and play family and shit like that. But they are a real family. You know what I mean? Like me and her, well, we do that sometimes, you know what I mean? But my patience for it is short, because it's like I ask her like, what are you really trying to do? And she be trying to play the game all the way through, and I'm like, we ain't gonna beat the game. We're not gonna come to the end of whatever this is, because I ain't got the patience to be fucking Eddie and Brookhaven for the next fucking 2 hours. You know what I mean, or whatever the fuck. And so I can't. You know what I mean? But I try. You know what I mean? I do put in valiant effort. And so, but yeah, I just feel like, you know, with the strip club shit, like get in front of your kids, man. Like be there, talk to them. Like it ain't no big deal to take them to those things. And even for like, I don't know, like my mom never like handheld me through anything, which looking back, she probably should have, because of the things that I ended up doing and that ended up happening to me. But like you were saying, like I didn't necessarily grow up in the internet, but like I was exposed to all the shit that I was exposed to outside of me, and there was nobody in front of me to like filter that. And like I don't know if it's because my mom just didn't want to talk to me, but I know because of that experience, I'm like, no, ask all the questions. You know what I mean? Like there's never a question that you can't ask or that I won't answer. You know what I mean? And so it's like, Yeah, man. I don't know how much deeper to go into it other than talk to your fucking kids. Like,
Yeah.
there should be no barrier or boundary like between those conversations, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Like, it clearly don't make your kid uncomfortable to ask you. So just fight through the discomfort and talk to your child. And so it's like, I don't know, my kids have asked me definitely some tough questions, Kaya especially, because of how my life is shook out. And she's not unaware, you know what I mean? And so like the questions be tough, but I do love fighting through the discomfort and giving her like the satisfaction of having an answer to her question.
Yeah, and like I said, they'll figure it out one way or the other. So you have the option to step in front of it or not. Yeah.
She asked me a question, but the reason why I brought up the BAFTAs is because she asked me a question about it. And she asked me, first off, what the fuck a BAFTA was, and I didn't know.
None of us knew until then, sweetie.
I honestly thought it was something black. I thought it was the black or
Black African Federal.
No, Black American Film
Television Association.
Yeah. I thought it was something like that.
I think it's that, but with British.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. It's British. It's, the Brits.
Yeah. Shout out to the UK.
Yeah, man. That shit, bro. So what are you? Did you look into it?
Oh, for sure.
What is your stance? What's your stance on it?
I've done. I did a joke about it, like kind of, because I do a joke already about why it's weird that white people can say Negro, and part of the joke. So the old version of the joke, there was a part where I go, and I have empathy for white people because it must be confusing because you don't know what you can say, right? Like, you can say Negro, but you can't say nigga or nigger unless you're Quentin Tarantino. And I stopped saying that part of the joke because it only works sometimes because not everyone knows about Quentin Tarantino. But yeah.
I do.
Yeah, but I retired it. But when this BAFTA thing happened, I'm like, oh, I just replaced Quentin Tarantino with half Tourette's. So it's like you can't say it unless you have Tourette's. And so I changed it to that. And then so the joke is basically like, okay, so you have this Tourette's thing. I learned about it. I get it. Why then weren't you saying all the other racial slurs to all the other different minorities there?
Apparently he wasn't saying any other racial slurs, but he was like saying like I think he yelled at Jew one time or something like that. Like he was yelling out other things at other people. But I like everybody's whole defense on the Tourette's is like you don't really control what you say. And I'm like, I can hear that, but like my logic is after you say that, do you just like blank for a minute and not know what you said, or did you also hear yourself? Because after you say that, your follow-up should be, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the moment you regain control of the next thing you need to intentionally say is my apologies. Or I'm sorry, I heard what I just said. I didn't mean to say that. There was none of that. You know what I mean? And I feel like people are defending it here in America without understanding the different context of racism in the UK. Because like racism in the UK is almost like a weird extension of nationalism. You know what I mean? And so it's like people out there are very much so like they have huge disregard for Black people. And not only are these Black people, these are Black Americans who they have even more disregard for. You know what I mean? And so it's like the fact that they didn't feel the need to address or apologize for this.
Or even censor it.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole editing thing is crazy to me. Yeah. And I'm like, that is uncomfortably intentional. You know what I mean? Like it's like the guy, like there cannot be any like I hear them trying to say like, oh, we didn't notice. It's like, nah, y'all watch this clip. Everyone
else noticed. Every single other person besides you in the world noticed. So
yeah. But it's like, how did you miss this moment? And you chose to, because they edited out the Free Palestine shit, which is like I feel like we gotta stop being surprised about that. Like we gotta stop.
For sure.
that shit's gonna happen every time. Like, they don't want nobody to talk about that. They don't want nobody to continue to address that. And part of me feels like, because this war with Iran is going to benefit Israel, part of me feels like this is just a mass distraction from the destruction that they're causing in Gaza.
Yeah, I think it's both a distraction and intertwined. It's like they're also intertwined, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure.
Same.
At a level that we're not going to get into.
But I think, man, like, I understand that, you know, I understand what Tourette's is, and I understand that I can hold space for them not being in control of it. Like, we can just, yes, you did not control that, but at some point, you got your voice back.
Mm-hmm.
And why was the first things out of your mouth not my bad? Even if you didn't, like, even if you weren't actually sorry, like, just optically. You know what I mean? Like, why was why not?
Just do it for your brand, nigga.
Yeah. Like, do it for the. He's a Tourette's advocate, and I'm like, you have just objectively separated, like, the ability for that disability to have space within this community. Not even to be like, black people are too ignorant to make space, but like, that's some shit that, like, everybody now, if a black person meets a white person with Tourette's and was aware of that moment, because they probably are, because it's Michael B. Jordan and Delroy. But if they're aware of that moment, they're gonna be like, yeah, you got Tourette's, nigga. All right. Yeah, like, that's gonna be the reaction.
Yeah. So it was unironically bad for the brand of Tourette's.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like that, like, it's kind of crazy to me that white people jump out to defend white people no matter what's going on. Like, y'all were just protesting because one of y'all got killed. And now y'all out here defending, not to say like it's the same correlation, but like, y'all have, like, that 180 was sharp. Like, there's no whiplash.
It's a pretty big, the Venn diagram's pretty close to a circle, though. It might not be the same people, but there's a lot of overlap. There was, like, an apology given that definite. My thing is, like, in agreement with what you're saying, like, if something like that happens, as black people, we need to feel, like, overwhelmed with apologies. Like, I don't know if that's, like, that's probably too woke of a take. I'm sure that some people want to, but it's like, we should all black people who saw that should know, like, oh, that shit happened, but that guy really went out of his way to, like, let us know that he did, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No black person I've seen on any end of the spectrum politically, from the most, like, you know, wild, right-wing, conservative, old school, whatever you want to call it, to, like, the most lefty lib, all black people I've seen who looked at it was like, I don't know, it's kind of whack. So it's like, there was no, you didn't hit any of us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta.
My thing is, like, I understand that people are like, oh, he doesn't owe the world an apology, he owes those men an apology. And it's like, that is, I get what you're trying to say, but that is not true just because of the impact of that word. It doesn't just impact them. Yeah. This was a national or a global broadcast, apparently, but must have been national, because I didn't know shit. I didn't know what was happening. Yeah. You know what I mean? But this was a global broadcast that is out for the world to see. And the word, like, for every black person that heard it, we now have a moment where we can reference, like you were saying, like, people just didn't give a fuck. Like, that happened and people are like, oh, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, we now have we have a million moments, but now we have another moment to reference for that. You know what I mean?
And it's like, oh, it's an accident or whatever, or however you want to classify it. Black people, we seem to be the victim of a lot of bad circumstances for white people. Yeah. You know what I'm like?
Yeah, no, that is always the argument.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think, like we were kind of saying earlier, like you just said, like, in terms of the people who think he should just only have apologized to Delroy and Michael B. Jordan, that might have been the case if they didn't air it. So really, Tourette's dude should be mad at the BAFTAs, honestly.
Yeah.
Because, like, you guys are going to knowingly have me here. Apparently, they made announcements on the thing that were kind of vague, but kind of insinuated that someone might be making interruptions within the audience. So they knew it could happen. In a way, the BAFTAs, as an award show, kind of fucked that guy over.
So this is a not necessarily a conspiracy theory, but this is another like side theory of mine. So the movie, you know how people do virtue signal, you know what I mean? The movie that he's in is a movie about his life with Tourette's, you know what I mean? And apparently he's the only actor with Tourette's. Like he's not like his life is the most Tourette's, like the most important Tourette story, you know what I mean? This the one that got the movie. And I feel like because like they don't want to seem ableist or anything like that. Like his movie is also nominated. So like they're clearly making space for the disability, you know what I mean? And hopefully everything that may come with it, which we have to say that they were aware of because they made the announcement, you know what I mean? And he said several times throughout the night, like, hey, this is gonna happen. And
better not see some black people.
But the fact that there was a mic in front of him for like majority of the night, and then I feel like the timing of everything feels like a prank on black people. You know what I mean? It feels like we're big book. Cause like, so he had a mic the whole night, but it wasn't on. But then when the black people hit the stage, because he might say some wild shit, y'all turn it on. And I feel like then y'all choose to not edit it out. Like this, we have to be getting punk right now. Like this can't be real. You know? But it is, you know what I mean? But it is. And so it's something that I think about. I think that we have to like, I don't want to take away no space for disability, but I do feel like you shouldn't have to apologize for your disability. And that's not what we're asking for. It's the impact of the disregard for the impact of the disregard of the impact, if that makes sense. Because it's like, you know that this word is going to have impact, but because you have a disability, you get to disregard that impact. And granted, this happened because of your disability, but like, that doesn't change that what happened has an impact, and then you not saying anything also has an impact. Yeah. So it's like your response to that whatever may have a positive impact or a negative impact, but no response is always going to have a negative impact. So if he had just immediately, like, even if it was, like you said, like, wasn't aired and it was just to them and we didn't know, you know what I mean? Like that would, if he had apologized to them directly, that would have been solid. Yeah. We'd have been like, all right, that shit had happened. He was sorry, and the nigga can't control what he say. Black people probably would have laughed at him, low key.
For sure. If you only heard it as a story, right, like that, then it is definitely easier to laugh at. I already think it's pretty funny overall. I don't know, we're being serious about it. It is hilarious overall, but it would be like more easy to like, you know, not feel like the sting of it if you just heard about it.
Exactly, but I don't know. What do you think? What do you think it's gonna do for the brand of Tourette? What do you think it's gonna do for Tourette?
I don't know. They gotta drop some right now while their name's hot.
They gotta go meme route.
They gotta link up in the stew with what producer would work with Tourette's the best? I don't know. I'm gonna go down this road.
Pharrell.
I'm not gonna go down this road. Pharrell. Okay. There's been enough. We've said enough today. Anything else you got? Anything else you want to say to cap off?
Tourette's don't mean you can say nigga.
For sure. Do we have to end? Should we end every episode with that from going forward?
Will that make us ableist?
It's me. We'll see, huh? Tourette's doesn't mean you can say nigga. Have a good night, everybody.